Hi friends, it's Rabbi Jenny Solomon here at Beth Meyer Synagogue with a Mincha moment. So I'm going to try to weave together this week's Torah portion, Bechukotai, and this week of Counting the Omer, in which we focus our attention on the midah, the soul trait of Yesod, which is often translated as foundation or grounding or bonding, roots. All right. So let's see how this goes. As we open up to this week's Torah portion, as I said, it's Bechukotai, which means if you follow my laws, essentially. And it starts in with a set of injunctions to follow God's laws, including keeping my Sabbaths, and doing all sorts of various things and not doing others, with the promise that obedience and faithfulness in these ways will bring blessing. So I want to just say that it's enough of a connection that would make even somebody like me who considers herself a religious person want to run the other direction. Because after all, I know people who are faithful people, people of faith who may not follow these laws and are blessed. And I know many people who are faithful and don't necessarily follow these laws or do follow these laws and experience great loss and suffering. And so I want to just start off by suggesting that this is a theology in the Torah, and certainly not the theology in the Torah. There are all kinds of ideas about how our actions lead to the experience of blessing in our lives and also curse. So I just want to say that first. But if we give this particular theology a little bit of openness around it, I think at its core, it is suggesting that there are consequences for our practice. There are consequences for our actions, and there are blessings that come with faithfulness around our spiritual practice. And I think we all know that from our experience, right? So when we are faithful and committed and follow through with the laws and the practices that we hold dear, that bears fruit. That certainly has been my experience. And particularly as it relates to feeling a sense of Yesod, building a sense of Yesod, cultivating a sense of Yesod. That is a foundation. And what I love about this idea, what I do find compelling, is not the guarantee that all will be well, Yesod, that it will just be blessing, that we will avert suffering and difficulty in our lives. But that instead, the existence and the presence of a robust practice and foundation will keep me steady and rooted and grounded as I meet the inevitable difficulties that come my way, come all of our way, if we're blessed to live long enough. And so when I think about this idea of foundation, this week I'm really thinking about strengthening my core. So we know this from yoga, of course, but probably from many other areas of life as well. We use our core muscles not just to, do ab work, but we use our core to literally do everything, to sit upright, to stand upright, to move in all kinds of directions. So we need that steady structure. We need that foundation, those roots, in order to give us the strength and the structure to lift and pivot and move as we meet the vicissitudes of life. So I'm thinking this week every day about planting some seeds of core work, actual physical bodily core work, which I usually leave as the last thing to do in my physical embodied practice that often get left off the list, but also other kinds of core work. Coming back to basics, making sure that I have time to sit, making sure that I have time to pray, that I have time to breathe, even if it's just a couple of moments. Which brings me to this mincha moment. If you listen and watch this video and then just turn off your phone or close it up and take 3 deep breaths and feel maybe putting hand on your belly or hand on your heart and just feel the ground beneath you as you breathe. That's the practice of Yesod. So may that practice continue to flower and bear fruit. Shalom, everyone. Peace.